Okay guys, we're live. It's Old Man G here, back again with another live video for REDEVILSTUDIO Studio. To be honest, I'm only really doing this live because it seems it will take me more time to make a video than actually just to live stream via YouTube. So let's get to it. Breaking news, Romelu Lukaku to Inter Milan. So initially when this story came out, people were saying Inter Milan have signed Romelu Lukaku. And I think a lot of the major United channels you'll see Inter sign or Inter agree fee for Lukaku. But what's actually happened, having looked at the report, which is in the BBC Sport are carrying this, as well as the Independent are carrying this, most UK news outlets are carrying this, is basically Inter Milan have come back to United with an improved fee of between 70 to 72 million to bid for Romelu Lukaku. So now the reality is that the previous fees before was something around 54-64 million, which United I think outright just refused. 70-72 million is a bit different. I think 70-72 million, this is something that I think that that United are going to have to listen to. They're going to have to listen to because it's clear evident that Romelu Lukaku is not he's been fined for not coming back to train because he was apparently training with Anderlecht. He's not been involved in pre-season. He's pretty much been an outlier when it comes to United's preparations. And it's clear that he wants to go. This isn't paper talk, this isn't room talk. It's very, very clear that he wants to go. And obviously, as me as United fans, we have no problem with that. We have no problem with Lukaku wanting to go. The issue that I've had personally is, thanks everyone that's watching, got 3 people watching, appreciate it. The issue that I have, the big issue that I have right now with the whole Lukaku saga is simply that we don't have time to sign a replacement. This is the big thing here, guys. The big thing here is, yes, okay, he's got a first touch. Yes, okay, we can sign better players. But what this transfer window has shown is that United do not have the sway. We can't just get players anymore. It's not just the question of, oh yeah, they're definitely going to get United. We're almost acting like Arsenal fans in a way. Yeah, of course that player's just going to come to us. We just need to bid high enough, and then they'll come. That's not the case. United are the 6th best team, unfortunately, in the Premier League right now. We don't have Champions League football. We're not really in a position. Jack Mosey. Yo, good to see you in the chat, man. Jack Mosey. Good to see you. We United are not in the position. This is, by the way, this is going to be quite a short stream and probably finish. I have somewhere to be, so we'll probably wrap up at about probably about 10 to, I think. But yeah, at the end of the day, United are not in a position to get anyone. So I'm not. The way I sort of see it is that I know a lot of people do not like Lukaku, especially United fans don't like Lukaku. But the way that I see it, and the way I've always seen it, is that this is a guy who basically has scored, I think he scored 15, 16 goals in the Premier League last season. Now that's not a lot. You want to score at least 20, 22 plus, in the Premier League. The reality is that you take that away, who's going to replace those goals? Who's going to replace those goals? Are we really expecting that Rashford, Martial, maybe Greenwood, possibly Lingard are going to step up on their goal tally when they didn't show evidence of that last season? They could, but again, we're going in with hope. We're going to hope that with Lukaku gone, that Rashford and Martial will just magically score more goals, bearing in mind that the midfield hasn't improved whatsoever. So this is the thing. So again, United again in a situation where we've sold Lukaku, or potentially going to sell Lukaku, Herrera, Fellaini, and we have not brought in any replacements. As much as I like the signing of Daniel James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we did technically have players in those positions. We don't have a backup striker, really, if we sell Lukaku. We don't have we don't have a backup defensive midfielder if Matic gets injured, really. So these are the things. I'm just reading Jack Mosley. Can't believe transfer would end in 20 hours. Yeah, man. 5 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to go live again at 9 o'clock tomorrow. We're basically going to be doing a transfer window reaction. We're going to react to this nonsense. This basically nonsense window, quite frankly. It's been a joke. It's been an absolute joke, this transfer window. Now people say that, oh, but you spent 160 million on getting Maguire and getting Daniel James, getting Saka. What are you talking about? It's not about money though. It's about the squad. It's about knowing the squad. Joe, Jamie, good to see you. I always appreciate you coming into the live streams. I really appreciate it. This is just going to be a short one today. We'll probably be done in the next 10 minutes or so, because this is just sort of a breaking news thing, and it's just quicker for me to just live stream than it was to upload a whole video based on Lukaku. So there we go. But thanks for joining the stream. SJ Moss says again, right now I think we should focus on getting midfielders because Pogba does feel good at Man U. So if we get at least Bruno somewhere, we could have a chance. Mate, I'll say it out right now. I don't think we're going to be signing Bruno Fernandes. I really don't. I don't even think we're going to be signing another midfielder. I don't think that United... I would be very, very, very surprised if Manchester United sign anybody, basically, in the next 20 hours. And if we do, it'll be based on desperation, which is not necessarily a good thing. So yeah, I would be, as much as I would like us to sign Bruno Fernandes, the fact that we haven't heard, the reality is that it's not like Harry Maguire and even Wan-Bissaka, where we heard talk about United tabling a bid from the UK press and bid rejected, and ongoing negotiation over bids and what we're going to agree, and eventually we come to agreement. The reality is that with Bruno Fernandes, there has been United have not lodged an official bid for him, and so my concern is that while I don't think we're even in for him, is that if United really were in for Bruno Fernandes, if they were in, even though the Portuguese press, the Italian press, and elements of the UK press have been talking about him, if United really were in for Bruno Fernandes, because he's only 60, would be only, I think, sporting on 64 million. If they were in for him in the first place, then quite frankly, why would United wait till the last day of the transfer window to lodge a bid for Bruno Fernandes when he's basically been available all transfer window? It doesn't make sense. So I think what makes more sense, at least in my mind, is that United not interested, or they're not in for him. They're not, and that concerns me, because I think our midfield doesn't have depth. We're 1 or 2 injuries away from a midfield crisis, and if Pogba leaves, just as I've said, and I'll speak more about this in the transfer action, because this is technically a Lukaku video, but if Pogba leaves, and if we get an injury to any one of our midfielders, we don't have a midfield effectively. So there you go. Inaki Williams linked to United, man. Again, I wasn't even going to bother addressing that, to be honest, Jamie, because it just feels like there've been so many. I mean, I didn't even want to address the Christian Eriksen rumours, to be honest. I just posted one because it was just lingering a bit, and then lo and behold, Eriksen snubs United. So, posting so many videos about players who, I just think there's just a lot of, as the transfer window gets closing, there are a lot of news and media outlets, and even YouTube channels, arguably, that are just posting just any sort of news, just to sort of boost just to boost themselves, really. It doesn't have to really be credible or stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, on this channel I post stuff that's in press, but in the press and report the press as well, if it gets a bit of momentum in the British press, and I'll post it. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that I just think that the Inaki Williams things, again, a lot of these, just because United is one of the biggest clubs in the world, it's just agents and local press wanting to sort of manipulate increase the fee for their players, etc., etc. You just have to always ask this question. Is just, even though it's possible, and it is possible, if United were generally interested in a player, why have they left it just under a day to even submit a bid? Because we know, because United are so slow at transfers, I highly doubt that they would be so interested in a player that they would leave it till 10, 20 hours before the transfer window closes to submit a bid for a player. I just don't think so. I don't think so. Right, thanks everyone that's watching. I know there's not that many, but appreciate everyone for tuning in. We are 10 minutes in, but again, it is a breaking. Inter Milan have submitted a 70 to 72 million bid for Romelu Lukaku. They close in on him. Lukaku clearly doesn't want to be at the club. Just quoting the BBC article now, in July, United rejected Inter Milan's 54 million bid for Lukaku, who he was fined today for missing training without permission on Tuesday, which, again, it's a bad attitude, not good. So to be fair, for everyone who hates Pogba, to be fair, Pogba's been the utmost professional about these things. Lukaku really has not done himself any favors. Basically, Inter and Juve have been competing to sign the forward who do not play in the Premier League pre-season matches because of injury, in quote. And obviously reaffirming Antonio Conte, basically saying, I consider him a player who could improve our team. It's clear that Conte and Sarri, ex-Chelsea managers, wanted Lukaku. Juventus couldn't get him because they couldn't get the Dybala deal, the Dybala swap there, and frankly we don't want Mandzukic, and Inter Milan don't have enough money. It's simple as that, really. But the reality is that we have to get this deal through. I think we spend 75 million on Lukaku. We take a couple of million loss on him. If it's 70-72, we take that loss. We seriously take that loss, because the worst thing that you can have at this club is a player who doesn't want to be at Manchester United at all. The morale and everything, it's just not good. Jamie, comments. Yeah, we won't get anyone else. Jamie, just got to, because Spurs are to be right these last few years. Indeed, if Spurs, I'm gonna be doing a, probably when I get back tonight. I'm just going out after this stream. I'm gonna do a my Premier League predictions video. So I will do a Premier League predictions video, which should be good, hopefully. So I'll do that. But Spurs, because Spurs already signed Ndombele, so Spurs sign somehow. If Spurs sign Dybala and Bruno Fernandes, or whoever it is they have, they've done a United. They've got rid of the players they don't need, and they've strengthened their squad, which we haven't had. We haven't, despite having more money than Spurs, despite having more have more of a history, being of a bigger club than Spurs, we have yet to actually strengthen our squad, and I think that's a joke. That is an absolute joke. We should be, as Manchester United fans, we should be in a situation that we can actually. I get it that Spurs will finish third and in Champions League, and the reality is that us not being in the Champions League has severely. I generally believe if we had been in Champions League, we could have potentially got a delete. The only thing I would say is that, again, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Do Ole and his team actually want these players? I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't want these players, but I do get a bit concerned when you hear reports of favouring British players, focusing on the young, just, etc., etc., and then you just wonder, well, hang on for a second. Yes, youth is good, but putting pressure on the youth without experience is not wise. And yes, okay, developing British talent is good. I appreciate that. That's really, really good to have. But again, is it worth focusing on British talent when you have a situation where you ignore experienced, or maybe not so experienced, but good quality players from abroad that could really add to the squad? Because, we signed, I just think it's a bit weird that we signed essentially 3 British players. Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka, and Harry Maguire, all British players. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing inherently, but I just think it's strange that we've just signed all British players. Heavily with some British players. No, not a single sort of, it's a bit weird. And I really hope that we're not going down that sort of Brexit line for Manchester United, because we'll miss out on good talent, aka Bruno Fernandes. Thanks again, everyone who's watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Appreciate your ongoing support. Just a brief recap, and I'll just say a few things that are going to be coming fairly soon. So, brief recap again. BBC Sport reporting that Lukaku, Inter Milan have basically offered Manchester United 72 million pounds for Romelu Lukaku, a bid. And Man United better take it. It's as simple as that, really. He's not agreed to sign yet, but they are confident in signing Lukaku with that improved bid of 72 million pounds. And bearing in mind that Lukaku was bought with Manchester United for 75 million pounds. So that is the breaking news. And Lukaku clearly wants to go. Inter Milan wants him. He needs. We need to just get this deal done, because we can't have Lukaku, who's clearly unhappy, having been fine on Tuesday at the club. Yeah, Jamie, it's going to be an interesting last few hours in the Prem. It really is. Just a few things, guys. So the first thing is I'm going to be uploading a video fairly soon after this, where we're going to basically be having a fantasy football competition. So essentially, I'll upload when I get back. Essentially, we are starting fantasy football on this channel. And there'll be the code to the group, the league, which is Red Devil Studio League, will be in the description of the video. You have to like and be a subscriber and post your team if you want to join in the comments. But most importantly, there's going to be a prize. Okay, the winning prize will be a shirt, a Manchester United official 2019-2020 shirt. That is going to be the prize for the person who wins, obviously, the league, the Red Devil Studio League. So yeah, that's basically it. So fantasy football is coming to Red Devil Studio. Stay tuned for that. The other thing, obviously, in terms of upcoming events, is tomorrow we're going live from 9 o'clock for our Red Devil Studio transfer window reaction, which is essentially going to be, as Jamie will know in the comments, me having a massive rant at this point. So just bear that in mind. That's going to be going live from 9 o'clock tomorrow, 9 o'clock UK time, from tomorrow. Then Friday evening, it's going to be banter, Premier League, fans, Red Devil Studio Live, episode 3, where we're getting fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, Newcastle, Sunderland fans, where we're going to basically be previewing the upcoming season, amongst other things. And then hopefully at some point in the middle of those things, I'll be doing my personal Premier League table predictions, and also I'll be doing match preview for Manchester United versus Chelsea on Saturday, where I will predict our starting 11. Just a few comments before we finish. Yep, Edward Jexoff, he's a clown. Yep, but it wouldn't surprise me, mate. Isaac Mutonga, are we going to place him? No, I doubt it. To be honest, I don't think we have time, and that's for me is a problem. That for me is a big problem. If we don't replace Lukaku, who's going to come and bring in those goals? I think it's unfair to put pressure on Greenwood and Martial and Rashford. We need an experienced forward, and we don't have one right now. I've got an incredible name for my friends, the Wan-Bissakas. Yeah. Well, I'll be posting that video. It's about what time is it now? It's 10 to. So I'll be posting that video probably when I get back. So probably late tonight. and I'll be posting that video. But yeah, stay tuned for that. There's a lot of stuff going this week. There's a lot of videos, and yeah, just appreciate your continued support. So we're ending the stream now. Thanks for those who, I know it was a bit rushed, but just a bit of breaking news. Thanks for those who listened and were getting involved. Please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Let's push on to 800 subscribers. We're almost there. And let's go on to 1,000. Appreciate it, guys. Follow us on Twitter, ReUnitedX. Stay tuned for more content. Have a nice evening, guys. Take care, everyone. And cheers.